Welcome to Black Salt Stories, where the old roads still remember our names and the night keeps our secrets. Settle in. Tonight we've got a bridge to cross and a promise to keep.
They call it Josiah's Crossing now, but that wasn't always the name. Back then it was just the old trestle bridge over Blackwater Creek, planks tired from storms, iron ribs humming when the wind came down off the pines. Folks said you could hear whispers under the boards at dusk, like the creek was speaking to the ones who listened. Josiah was a quiet man, a steady man, worked hard at the mill on the far side of the creek, hands smelling of pine pitch and sawdust. He had a habit of walking home late last whistle blown, sky still warm with afterglow. Not because he loved the dark, but because he'd learned to meet it respectfully. There's a difference. Now Josiah knew something we all ought to. A threshold is a promise, and a bridge is the longest threshold you'll find in the country. You don't just step over a promise without saying a word. So each evening, before he set foot on that bridge, Josiah reached into his pocket and brought out a small linen pouch, something his Aunt Lila stitched for him when his mama took sick. Inside was black salt. Salt worked with ashes from the family hearth, crushed charcoal from last New Year's fire, and prayers spoken low, so only the ancestors could answer. He'd pinch the salt between forefinger and thumb, and lay it down across the lip of the bridge, a thin, dark line, not much to look at. But as any root doctor'll tell you, it ain't the size of the lin, it's the strength of the word behind it.
Bless my goin', and bless my comin'. What rides the water, won't ride my back. What lives in the shadow, won't cross this track. By salt and ash, by bone and name, I step in peace, I leave the same.
Some nights that's all it took. The creek sighed, the cypress leaned, and Josiah crossed with nothing but stars watching. Other nights the crossing remembered its debts. See, a long while before, a wagon lost its footing mid-span. Old Man Crawley and his boy went down with the boards. Lantern pitching flame across the water like fireflies falling. The town pulled up what they could. But grief leaves splinters. Folks say the bridge kept a piece of that sorrow. Kept it and fed it with every careless step. That's why a threshold needs tending. Across the creek, 3 crows settled on the rail. Folks called Josiah Crow Josiah. For good reason. Birds likes him. Messengers, Aunt Lila used to say, with sharp eyes for what don't belong. He tipped his hat to them, then to the river, then to the space just ahead, where the dark seemed thicker. He laid his second line of salt mid-bridge, a crosswise mark, neat and sure. Then he set down an iron nail he kept in his pocket, rusted red, head flattened by the rail. Iron is boundary keeping. Iron says no with a backbone.
Blood of my blood, guide my feet. River, keep your road, let me keep mine. What is kin may cross with me, what is not, turn back.
That's when the air took shape. Not a person, not a beast, but the bent outline of grief itself, hitching along where the planks had been replaced. It smelled like wet ash and old rope. It tried to lean on him, the way sorrow does, when it thinks you'll carry it. Josiah didn't flinch. He reached again into the pouch, a heavier pinch this time, and fed the black salt to the threshold like a mother feeds a child. Steady, patient, loving enough to be firm. Understand, black salt ain't meanness, it's clarity. Eye marks where your spirit ends and the world begins. It's the word you write on your door, in a language trouble can't read.
Psalm over my shoulders, breath at my back. Crawley and boy, rest easy, rest easy. I ain't your wagon, I ain't your rope, take this line as a ferry. You to your side, me to mine.
The shape hesitated, hungry, but listening. One of the crows hopped closer, head cocked, and cawed like it was counting. Josiah took off his hat, pressed it to his chest, and spoke the names. His mama, her mama, And the Crawleys too. Because care is a circle. Names are keys. Keys turn locks. Locks open doors, and a threshold is a door laid flat. A cool wind rose, the kind that lifts sweat from back of your neck, and the thick place thinned. The bridge straightened under him, planks sure again. The crows shook their wings, satisfied. Josiah set his hat back on, picked up his nail, and crossed the rest of RHE Way with the unhurried stride of a man who knows his work is done. After that night, folks said the bridge felt different. Babies stopped crying when mamas walked them across in the morning. Men coming home late found their pockets lighter of worry. Even old Miss Betty, who hadn't set foot on wood over water since she was a girl, took the long way no more. And if you go there now, right near sundown you'll see it. A thin dark stitch at the lip of the bridge, neither boasting nor hiding. It just keeps the promise. That's the tale of Josiah's crossing. A lesson in lines and love. Remember, protection isn't fear. It's care, set down where the road grows tender. If this story found you tonight, lay your line, with salt, word, with the steady hand of your people behind you, and when you cross, cross in peace.
Thank you for listening to Black Squalt Stories. If our roots speak to your roots, follow along